Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to talk about Monopoly because this thing is never going to go away because Neopets keep making a bigger hole for themselves. Now, if you don't remember, Monopoly came out and it was sitting here at $70 for the early bird. If it didn't sell out, it would go to 80. But of course, we know it sold out. There was 2,000 limited edition sets available. Now, I'm just going to summarize this before I go too deep in this. Neopets, if you're out there, you just need to change this sucker back to the original. That's all you have to do, and all of this goes away. Whatever you're attempting to do here, you just need to do that in the future and lay it all out because it didn't seem like you had any plans of what you're actually doing here. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to run through that history. This product came up for sale. It had all this a wonderful Monopoly goodness customization over to the side. Has this really fancy tin. Ooh, look at that. And then you also get exclusive prizes, which included a stamp and an avatar. Now, when this first came up here, this terms and conditions, you could see on my video, did not have some of these lines in it. And you can see the history because I just covered this basically every other day about Monopoly. So there is a video trail of this. What happened was, let's just go this. It sold out. They said they were going to make a retail version of it cheaper later into the future. I thought that was a way to give everybody the avatars at a lower price. Okay, great. Everybody just moved on. But then what ended up happening was they ended up giving influencers. I don't even know what that really means when it comes to Neopets, but people were ending up with this item. And you can see this under my video. Neopets giving Monopoly board game goodie bags to influencers. You watch that video, you're going to see. Let me just zoom in here. I don't want to click into it right now. Let me scroll down. There it is. You can see it right there on the Neo boards. At that point, when I had this video, there were two people that had it. And when people asked, they said, the one person said that they got it as being an influencer. And at my time, my biggest criticism of that was the fact that, if you're a Neopets influencer, I would think what you do with the item is actually open it and show people all the wonderful goodness where it came from, which came from the Monopoly board. There's a retail version later on. Voila, try to get people into buying the thing, not selling it. And I don't know who sold it, but recently on the Neo board, someone said that there was a goodie bag sold for 1.5 billion Neo points. That is freaking insane. And it doesn't make any sense to me that they use that item in that way. Because what are you influencing? Your own Neopets bank account. That's all that is. Okay, so now what ended up happening after that? Terms and conditions were modified, and on there, what they added was the Sterling Sky avatar does not count towards users' totals. They said it remained consistent since the product's initial release. Again, if I go back here to my video that I showed you about Monopoly, you can just watch this stuff. What ended up happening there was they lied because it wasn't there. There was nothing there that even remotely shows that the Scythe avatar does not count towards users' totals. And because of that, people were obviously pissed off. And it makes sense because you changed the terms and conditions. You didn't say that at the beginning and now you change it. Some people, again, bought this for the avatar. Some people bought this for the Monopoly board itself. Some people bought it for the stamp. Some people bought it for all of it or just to resell. But no matter what, you cannot just modify those terms just because you feel like it, because you want to appease everybody in the world. This is the problem with Neopets. They're trying to appease everybody. You know what? Keep it simple, stupid. At this point, you release the product without that disclaimer on there. You need to stick to that because this is what problem you're finding yourself into now. So then, not only that, we also have this as well. This is after all this happened, people started canceling. And then Neopets sent them this. Before we move forward, we'd like to clarify one important detail regarding the Sterling Sky avatar and stamp that come with the Neopets Monopoly set. Both the avatar and the associated stamp are non-tradable and limited to one redemption per Neopets account. So you think about that again. It only made sense that the avatar couldn't be transferred. Once you open it up, it is yours forever, okay? That makes total sense to me. The stamp, though, being non tradable, In what world did we ever have that freaking happen? And just any of these paid products that you do, all of this stuff for the most part. I mean, maybe there's like one item out there that didn't follow this, but you didn't write that up at the beginning. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You cannot change it. And again, I go back to people complaining about pay to win and all of that stuff. That's what's causing this. They don't know what to do. They're trying to figure it out on the fly, and that's not working. You would just say we're going to implement this in the future. You don't do it to something already in existence that people already purchase. That seems like a horrible, horrible idea. And that is the problem you are finding yourself in right now. You cannot just change things when real money is involved. So at the very least, at least they're letting people cancel, and you probably do it sooner than later. Other people, of course, were upset because they're like, you know what? I bought this stuff and you didn't send me a disclaimer. None of this right here was sent out generally to people that purchase Monopoly. You had to write to them and look to cancel, or at least send some kind of question for them to reply back with this information. It is pretty crazy. And then on top of that, if you don't remember what I just said about the influencer took their goodie bag, sold it allegedly for 1.5 billion. Again, I have not seen that. So I will say allegedly 1.5 billion. And I don't even know who it actually was. They sold it, which meant it was tradable at some point. And now they're telling us it is non-tradable. That is definitely a slap in the face because again, you have an influencer that's supposed to influence people and they took the item and sold it. And then you're telling us they were allowed to do it and we cannot. Get it? That's the biggest problem with all this. It's they just keep flip-flopping on everything. They have no idea. They have no path. It's almost like they didn't realize that some of this stuff actually is going to be a problem into the future because even though you limit the avatar, you didn't limit the stamp and this page in the book. So here you go. What are you going to do with this page? And someone wrote down here, this is on Neopets Nation. Don't be surprised this avatar stamp page also doesn't count. You have to think through all of this. All this is just pretty insane at this point when you think about it. Because this page, where I go in my mind is I've always said, and you've heard me on different videos if you've watched me and say that they will find a way to release this stuff eventually. This will not just be locked in here forever. It just will not. I mean, you look at this over stamp. What they're doing over here is Tales of the Cardia. If you go to this Bruce, they added a new Bruce, Captain Quickfinger. Yes, if you go to Captain Quickfinger, he will sell you items, and one of that is the overstamped stamp. Okay, so not to say that this thing was locked. You were able to get it during the Festival of Nags, but still, some people didn't get it, and it's expensive now. So you can actually have one other way of getting it. But I will say they will find ways to do this because they don't want to hear people yelling at them. It's just they can't do it soon enough. Okay, you can't do it now because people paid for it. You have to do it in like a year, 2 years, something like that. But even then, it'll all work out. I think it's just super annoying how they just keep going back and forth on all of this. It's like, dude, just get rid of this problem, to just clean slate it, just go back to the way the monopoly was, and then deal with it in the future. I honestly don't believe that they really thought this one through. Like, I don't think the influencer thing, they thought that someone would attempt to sell it. I don't think that this whole Sterling Scythe avatar would lead into the stamp, which would lead into this page. I honestly do not believe they realized the amount of dominoes they set off. But of course, we all have to deal with it. We have to think about it. I know people are saying this is what you get for trying to pay to win or anything like that. Remember, at the end of the day, some people are actually wanting to play Monopoly. It is, I know. Monopoly not the funnest game in the world when it comes to this. They keep trying to update it to make it more fun. But, we're all just trying to relive some nostalgia. This is what it really is. Some people have other thoughts on what they want to do with the Monopoly set, but still, at the end of the day, people just wanted to play, and you are ruining your own experience before it even begins. So your thoughts on playing Monopoly, they're bad enough, but you throw all of this on top of it, and you end up with just a horrible, horrible time. I know when I get it though, I'm gonna whoop my sister's butt in Monopoly. I don't know how this is all going to go down, but it is very, very interesting. All I know is We only have one life to live. I'm not going to spend it just sitting here being upset all the time. I'm going to have fun. So I hope you all do the same. I will see you all later. Have a good one. Bye. Actually, by the way, if you haven't done it yet, make sure to play the Cardia login, do all that stuff because there's some amazing prizes. By the way, it screwed me. First day, it didn't. I donated and it didn't even count my freaking tickets. So I'm minus 200. I come in there and it went from 200 down to zero. And I'm like, you guys full of junk. That's what it is. It's almost like it deleted the last 10 minutes of my gameplay. I know I played it because my items are missing that I used for donation. So I know I actually did it. But if you scroll down here and take a look at what they're giving out. Yes. So make sure you actually do that. Oh, and the last thing, they did those beads, Lutari beads. I took my Springabee and I rolled it 3 times and got this blue Renaka bead. Check that out. It's in auctions right now. There you go. Okay, I'll see you all later. Bye. Have fun.